My name is Sophie Bennett, 27 years old, and I never imagined my life would be shaped by a decision I didn't make. My parents, Margaret and Thomas, always valued tradition over my dreams, pushing me into a marriage I didn't want. At 25, they arranged for me to marry Daniel Clark, a 35-year-old man paralyzed from the waist down, a wealthy businessman they admired for his status. The wedding was a blur of white dresses and forced smiles, held in a grand hall with their friends clapping while I stood silent. Daniel was kind at first, his wheelchair a quiet presence, but I felt trapped, my art dreams fading. Last week, while sorting his study, I found a locked drawer with a strange key inside a book. When I opened it, I saw something that made my heart race. A hint of a secret. My parents brushed it off, saying, "Let it go, Sophie." But I couldn't. This morning I felt a spark of courage. They didn't know it yet, but I was about to uncover the truth. Growing up, I was the dreamer. My older brother, Ethan, 30, was the practical one, studying law, earning Dad's praise with every grade. I loved painting, spending hours with watercolors, but Mom called it a hobby, not a future. At 12, I won a school art prize. Dad said, "Ethan's the real success." By 16, I asked for art supplies. They bought Ethan a laptop. At 18, I moved out, working at a cafe to save for art school, finishing at 24 with a degree I paid for myself. Ethan's law firm job got a celebration. My first gallery show got a shrug. I started freelancing, earning $900 a month, but my parents saw it as failure. That distance shaped me, teaching me to rely on myself. After school, I met Daniel at a family dinner arranged by Mom and Dad. He was charming, his wealth from a construction empire impressive to them. "He needs a caregiver wife," Mom said, ignoring my protests. At 25, they pressured me, saying, "It's your duty." Daniel's paralysis came from a car accident years ago, he explained, and he seemed gentle, but I felt no love. We married in a ceremony I barely remember, moving into his large house. I tried painting in a corner room, but he discouraged it, saying, "Focus on me." Last year, I sold a painting for $200 and he nodded, "Nice try." Mom visited once, leaving an old journal. "Keep this," she said, her tone flat. I tucked it away, unopened, thinking it was just nostalgia. Ethan's calls were rare, always about family pride. "You're doing fine," he'd say, but I felt alone. The journal sat in my closet, a silent reminder of my lost voice. The discovery hit hard. Daniel's study was off limits, but one day he was out and I couldn't resist. The locked drawer creaked open with the key, revealing a photo of him standing, dated last month, and a medical report marked confidential. My hands shook as I read it. Something about a staged condition. I hid it back, my mind racing. That night I confronted him. "What's this?" I asked, holding the key. He paled, saying, "It's nothing," and wheeled away. I called Ethan, but he said, "Don't rock the boat." Mom and Dad visited, urging, "Forget it, Sophie, he's your husband." I nodded, but inside I was determined. I pulled the journal from the closet, its pages brittle. Inside were my old sketches, a letter in Mom's handwriting, and a clinic receipt. The letter said, "Stay strong," but the receipt listed a payment to a doctor. My friend Clara, an artist who'd always supported me, said, "Dig deeper." I recorded her voice, feeling a flicker of hope. I started a vlog, breaking the silence, teasing my find, and it got 60 views. I posted on Twitter, forced into a lie, and it got 90 views with comments like, "You're not alone," lifting me. I saved them, my resolve growing. I kept searching. I spent $30 on a magnifying glass to read the tiny print, finding a note about a fake diagnosis and Daniel's signature. The photo showed him walking, laughing with someone unknown. Clara reviewed my recordings, suggesting a family talk, and I wrote a draft message. I tweeted, unveiling the truth, hinting at a hidden life, and it got 150 retweets. Comments said, "Keep going." I saved them, my voice building. At an art fair, I met a nurse, Ms. Patel, who offered to check the medical records. My vlog views climbed to 120 and I felt a shift. My story mattered even if my family didn't see it. The tension started. Ethan texted, "Mom's worried. Come home." His tone felt off, my chance nearing. I said no, focusing on the journal, gathering clues. Ms. Patel's help cost $50 and I shared it on Twitter, getting 200 retweets with comments like, "You've got this." I saved them, my courage rising. Daniel grew distant, avoiding my eyes. I visited my parents' house with the journal, nerves steady, ready to face their pressure. But what I found would shake them. They wouldn't expect my defiance, and I was ready to break free. The family visit's heavy silence still weighed on me as I drove home with Clara, Daniel's pale face and my parents' nervous glances replaying like a puzzle begging to be solved. I woke up each morning in the guest room of Daniel's grand house. The journal and magnifying glass on my nightstand, signs of my hidden revelation and growing family tension. The forced marriage, my parents' pressure, Daniel's distance, their uneasy reactions, had started to unravel, and I was ready to dig deeper, turning their control into proof of my strength. The path ahead felt daunting, but I was determined to find my freedom. The days after the visit brought a slow but steady breakthrough. Miss Patel, the nurse, helped me decipher the clinic receipt for $200, and my search took on new life. I kept the papers in a sketchbook sleeve, a shield against their dismissal. I texted Ethan the news. "There's something about Daniel," but he replied, "Leave it alone, Sophie," with a sigh. I saved it, my resolve hardening. Clara pushed me to confront them, and I began outlining my next move, sketching a plan on a canvas. I posted on Twitter, unmasking my marriage, and it got 300 views with comments like, "You're brave," warming my heart. I saved them, my online support growing like a quiet root. Daniel grew colder. He said, "Stop snooping," his voice tight as he adjusted his wheelchair. I stayed calm. "I need the truth." He turned away, and I called Clara, who suggested documenting everything. I recorded our talks, her advice a steady guide. I enrolled in an art therapy course to process my feelings, practicing how to face my family, my words gaining clarity. I tweeted, "Painting my freedom," hinting at a hidden life, and it got 450 retweets. Comments said, "Keep creating." I saved them, my voice finding its rhythm. At home, my revelation took shape. The journal revealed a letter from Daniel's doctor, hinting his paralysis was staged, with a note about a private clinic. My hands trembled as I read it. A second page showed a photo of him walking in a garden, dated 6 months ago, with a woman I didn't know. I sketched it quickly, and Miss Patel confirmed the clinic's reputation for discreet treatments, my hope flickering. I vlogged, chasing the truth, teasing my find, and it got 400 views. A friend, Mr. Harper, a photographer, offered to help document evidence, my circle widening, but I kept it quiet, saving it for the right moment. The tension thickened. Ethan texted, "Mom's upset. Come talk." I didn't reply, focusing on the journal, gathering more clues. The course gave me a certificate, and I shared it on Twitter, getting 600 retweets with comments like, "Art heals." I saved them, my confidence blooming. Clara invited me to a family dinner. They're rattled. "Bring it," her tone firm, my time nearing. I spent hours preparing, painting a small canvas with my feelings. Red for anger, blue for hope. The family dinner happened at my parents' dining room with Margaret, Thomas, Ethan, and an aunt there. Over roast chicken, Dad started, "This is family business." Mom added, "Daniel's your husband." I stayed calm, showing my sketchbook, certificate, doctor's letter, teaser, photo hint. "He's not paralyzed," I said. The room went still, and I played Claire's recording, "You deserve answers." Their faces shifted, Dad's frown, Mom's shock, but the full truth stayed out of reach. My discovery deepened. Ms. Patel found records of Daniel's mobility treatments, suggesting a deliberate act. I tweeted, unveiling the mask, sharing my journey, and it got 800 retweets. Comments cheered, "Expose him." I saved them, my voice growing. Mr. Harper helped set up a photo shoot to capture evidence, and I felt a surge of purpose. The dinner ended with Mom's quiet, "We didn't know," a crack in their wall, but no full admission, leaving a question. The next family gathering, a tense lunch at a cafe, loomed. I arrived with Clara, carrying my sketchbook. Ethan greeted, "Daniel's avoiding us," his tone low. Mid-lunch, I showed the garden photo, my voice steady. "This is him walking." The table froze, Dad's face paling. I added, "I need answers." The moment passed, and I saw their stunned looks. Mom's wide eyes, Daniel's absence noted. Their control had bound me, but this hinted at liberation. The lunch marked a turn, and I waited for their next move, truth or denial, with careful hope. They wouldn't expect my resolve, and I was ready to claim it. The lunch's stunned silence still hung in my mind as I drove home with Clara, the garden photo and my parents' shocked faces replaying like a moment of reckoning. I woke up each morning in the guest room of Daniel's house, the journal and doctor's letter framed beside my easel, signs of my hidden confrontation and shifting family tension. The forced marriage, my parents' pressure, Daniel's deception, their uneasy reactions, had reached a critical point, and I was ready to face them, turning their manipulation into proof of my liberation. The path ahead felt heavy, but I was set to break free. The days after the lunch brought real progress. Ms. Patel confirmed the medical records, proving Daniel's paralysis was staged with regular mobility treatments, backed by clinic notes. I kept the documents in a locked portfolio, a shield against their denials. I texted Ethan the news. Daniel's been lying, but he replied, "This will hurt us," with worry. I saved it, my determination growing. Clara urged a family meeting and I planned it with care, sketching a timeline of events. I posted on Twitter, facing the deception, and it got 1,200 views with comments like, "You're a warrior," lifting me. I saved them, my online support widening. Daniel grew hostile. He said, "Drop this, Sophie," his tone sharp as he gripped his chair. I stayed steady. I deserve the truth. He stormed off and I called Clara, who suggested going public. I recorded her words, her support a steady anchor. I finished my art therapy course, earning a certificate, and practiced my family speech, my voice gaining strength. I tweeted, "Art of Freedom," hinting at Daniel's secret, and it got 1,800 retweets. Comments said, "Unmask him." I saved them, my presence building. At the nurse's office, my confrontation deepened. Ms. Patel presented the clinic notes, showing Daniel's treatments spanned years, a deliberate act to maintain his image. My heart pounded as I held the evidence. I sketched a quick diagram and she gave me a $300 consultation refund, my standing rising. I vlogged, unveiling the lie, teasing my journey, and it got 550 views. Mr. Harper arranged a family hearing, my story spreading, but I held back details, saving them for the right time. The tension rose. Ethan texted, "Mom's begging. Meet us." I answered, "With proof." He agreed. "Tomorrow." I focused on the hearing prep, gathering my sketchbook, certificate, and refund. The course gave me a workbook and I shared it on Twitter, getting 2,200 retweets with comments like, "Creative hero." I saved them, my reputation climbing. The family meeting loomed and I arrived with Clara and Mr. Harper, feeling grounded. The family meeting took place at a neutral community hall with Margaret, Thomas, Ethan, and Daniel there. Over water, Dad started, "This is private." Mom added, "He's still your husband." I stayed calm, showing my portfolio, $300 refund, certificate, clinic notes. "He's not paralyzed," I said. The room tensed and Mr. Harper spoke, "The records prove it." "Sophie's right." Their faces shifted, Dad's glare, Mom's tears, Daniel's flush, but the full reaction stayed out of reach. My confrontation spread. The hearing scheduled a review and an art collective offered free studio space, valuing my courage. I tweeted, "From puppet to painter," sharing my rise, and it got 2,800 retweets. Comments cheered, "Break free." I saved them, my voice loud. Clara drafted a separation plan, keeping it ready. The meeting ended with Mom's shaky, "We didn't intend this," a crack in their wall, but no full surrender, leaving a gap. The next family gathering, a tense tea at their house, became my moment. I arrived with Clara holding my portfolio. Ethan greeted, Daniel's denying it, his tone low. Mid-tea I unveiled the garden photo, my voice firm. "This is him walking." The room froze, Daniel's face paling. I added, "I want out." The moment passed and I saw their stunned looks. Mom's gasp, Dad's silence, Daniel's avoidance. Their control had trapped me, but this promised escape. The tea marked a turn and I waited for their next move, truth or retreat, with careful hope. They wouldn't expect my strength and I was ready to claim it. The tea's tense stillness lingered as I drove home with Clara, the garden photo and Daniel's pale face replaying like a victory I was still processing. The evening air felt fresh, a sign of the freedom I was claiming. I woke up each morning in my rented studio, the journal and clinic notes beside my easel, reminders of my journey from forced marriage to liberation. The glow of my latest painting, A swirl of colors from my escape lit the room. The family's control had shifted to regret and respect, and I was ready to embrace it, turning their manipulation into my story of strength. The path had been tough, but I'd made it and my heart felt light. The days after the tea brought success that surprised me. The hearing granted me a separation and a $15,000 settlement, a legal nod to my struggle. Clara's support had been key, her quiet encouragement steadying me. I framed the check on my wall, next to a sketch of my new life. I texted Ethan, "It's over, I'm free," and he replied, "Sorry Sophie, we failed you," with regret. I saved it, feeling their past control fade. Clara suggested a family gathering and I planned it at an art gallery reflecting my identity. I posted on Twitter, "From chains to canvas," and it got 3,500 views with comments like, "You're unstoppable." I saved them, my online support growing. Daniel contacted me, his voice soft. "I was wrong. Can we talk?" I said, "Yes, my way." Ethan added, "Mom and Dad want to see you," and I felt hope. I called Clara, who cheered, "You've broken free," and I recorded her voice, a source of strength. I donated $3,000 to an art program for women, inspired by my journey. My vlog, Painting My Liberation, hit 800 views with comments like, "Incredible courage." I saved them, my voice reaching others. The family gathering at the gallery was a turning point, my paintings adorning the walls. Dad said, "We pushed you too far, Sophie," and Mom added, "We're sorry." I showed the settlement check and art program flyer. "This is my life," I said. I played Clara's recording and their faces softened, Dad's nod, Mom's smile, Daniel's quiet look. They clapped as I shared program details, a new respect forming. My liberation grew. The studio rent was $600 and I sold paintings for $1,500 profit, hiring Lucy as an assistant for $400. The art program reached $10,000 and a gallery offered an exhibit. My vlog hit 1,200 views, and Twitter trended Sophie's Art Rise, with comments like, "Art Queen." I saved them, my influence spreading. Clara helped plan the exhibit and I prepared with joy. The exhibit opening was my triumph. I stood tall in my paint-smudged smock, Clara beside me. Ethan said, "Mom's proud now." Daniel confessed, "I faked it for business. I'm sorry." The crowd cheered and I nodded, "Thank you." The family clapped, their support a surprise. Clara hugged me, whispering, "You did it," and I felt the chains break. Afterward, Ethan brought an old sketch saying, "Dad kept this. Mom promised, we'll support you." I shared my first sales story and they listened. The program hit $12,000 and I planned a workshop. My vlog reached 1,500 views with comments like, "Paint on." I saved them, inspiring others. If you've been forced into a life, break free. Share below. Subscribe to Revenge Tempest for more triumph tales. Hit the bell for updates. Until next time, create your path.